So we're going to go on this adventure of you. We're trying to discover who God's designed you to be. We want to discover it so that we're able to uncover, we're able to repair anything that needs repair, we're able to remove anything that isn't really you. We're going to restore, actually Jesus is going to redeem it. What it's going to look like in the end is something that was beautiful and whole that got shattered. But with each piece that we find, we put together, it's going to be like a beautiful piece of stained glass, held up to the light, glorious and beautiful, and each piece held together by that redemption. So what do we need to get started on this adventure of you? Well, the first thing on the quest you need is a good map, right? Any quest that anyone would undertake would require a really good map. So here's what I did. You can help yourself if this is what you want to do. I got a big piece of paper. I laid my head down on it. I traced my head on that piece of paper, my profile. And then I just started writing the mountains of regret, the streams of sorrow, the mouth of poetry, the eyes of spiritual discernment, whatever it was. And I put all of those things in there. I actually made it a map. Well, that was one thing to just do what's in my head, kind of what I think. It's a whole nother thing to make a heart map. To actually draw a big heart on a piece of paper and divide it out. Where's the pieces that are hurt? Where are the pieces that are wounding? What's missing? What's the mysterious darklands that I don't even know what I don't know? Where are the places that I might be honest and humble enough to admit there's lies that I believed? There's lies I've been told that I believe. There's lies I have told that eventually I do believe. Remember, this quest is about not only discovering, but it's about unbecoming anything that's genuinely not me. So if we run it back and I would ask you this question, if you had no wounds, if you had no hurts, if you had no adaptive parts to your personality that you put in for protection or to not be misunderstood or not look like a failure, what would we find there that's genuine? Can we go back to a place in life when you were a kid, when you had a happy day, and you could say, you know what? The genuine me showed up right there. I've always been. Who's God designed me to be? Well, I can tell you one thing, I've always been. Something in my design. Maybe I'll put that in the heart map. I've always been tender. I've always been adventurous, but I've always been sensitive. I've always been someone who loved learning and sought wisdom. I've also been someone who's more spiritually focused. Who have you always been? What qualities do you have? Have you always been someone who's loyal, even when people weren't loyal to you? Have you always been someone who's faithful, truthful, strong, honest? Who have you always been? Now, sometimes I'll have people say to me, well, I've always been a hard worker. Well, you know what? That's actually a do. That's something that we do. Now, we do it out of who we are. If you're genuinely working hard because that's you, that's because of your faithfulness. That's because of your trustworthiness. Somebody will say, well, you know, I've always been a perfectionist. Well, that's kind of a broken, wounded kind of place. Out of what's the genuine part, I see things in a way. I'm a visionary and I can see how things can be excellent. That's more the genuine you. That's the more redeemed you. That's the more you God designed you to be. Before He formed you, He knew you. So maybe take your imaginary heart, lay it out on a piece of paper, draw it out, and make a heart map. Who have you always been? And then we can look and see, where are those wounds? Where are those lies? Where is the brokenness? So that it can be restored, it can be healed, it can be whole.